So the first exercise, you're gonna face out with the close grip push down, okay? Or pull down. So the most important thing with these is keeping your elbows in and down like this. It's mimicking more of a pullover type of exercise. You're driving down with your elbows. So you're not pulling back like this, okay? You're pulling down in front of you, lower lats, squeezing your lower lats really, really hard at the bottom. Don't go too heavy, you're not gonna be able to contract your lower lats. So you're squeezing hard, hard, hard in the bottom. And from here, if we're gonna activate everything from insertion points, you're gonna come straight to a stiff arm pull down, okay? Squeeze real hard, just like you're doing like a front relaxed pose at the bottom.
Straight up.
Yep. Really, really focusing on the contraction on the bottom. And then you're gonna finish right here. So on these, you're actually gonna let your elbows come out and squeeze really, really hard like you're doing a front double bicep. Squeeze your back hard. Control it on the way up. These should be rhythmic, but with a big squeeze at the bottom. So it'll look like this. Squeeze, more rhythm, squeeze. When you're really close to a show, you actually don't want to be doing crazy with your negatives. We call the connective tissue is weak. This is something that we should talk about on camera also. So for starters, what we're doing today is gonna be great for both guys, and I'm gonna explain why. He is getting ready to get on stage soon. He's very, very lean, and we wanna bring out as much detail as possible. Freak, he has not even started his true diet yet, but everything that we're doing, this whole prep for him, is gonna be focused around his back. He's dominant from the front. He's not weak in the back, but that's the area that he needs the most focus on. So he needs size, but he needs detail as well. So I'm gonna be going back and forth a lot with him, with slapping on the beef and then bringing out the detail. So this workout is gonna be focused on detail, contracting the muscles properly, so both guys have as much lumps and action going on back there. We want, when he hits his poses from the back, which we'll show you, you want as much coming out as possible. And this is the last, for him, real back workout. Once you're inside of like a week for a show, you're not really training that hard anymore. This is gonna be probably like 75 to 80% of the weights that he could be using, but with a good rhythm and lots of controlled squeezes to fire that detail out. Something that's very important that you guys do when you're getting closer to your shows. You don't wanna be in here breaking records trying to lift as heavy as you can. With all the aromatase inhibitors, with the lack of fats in your diet, your joints and connective tissue gets very, almost dehydrated is the proper way to put it. Things ache, things can tear easily, okay? So you wanna be very, very smart with your warm-ups, with your rhythmic motions, and making sure that you're getting blood flowing to those areas. So these first few sets are gonna be relatively easy for them, but it's all part of like a controlled warm-up for everything else that we're gonna be doing. So it's a giant set to start. First two sets are warm-ups. It's just as soon as one guy goes, the next guy will go, and they're just gonna go in a circle. And I'm actually gonna train with them to make sure that the pace stays the way that I want it. So try almost to imagine that like you can't let your elbows, you're pulling your elbows forward. Just like if you're doing a pullover in a pullover machine, because we want to fire from down here as much as possible from that insertion point. Very good. Good. Just really concentrate on going through there. And at the bottom, just squeeze your lats hard on every rep. Good. Drive out on my fingers. Yep, there you go. Sometimes just having somebody tell you, fire the muscle here, makes a big difference. I can feel the muscle pushing hard on my fingers, which you want. We're trying to really hit this through the insertion because this is gonna belly out more. You're gonna be able to get more blood in there. Good. Yep. And then pull it down, like right when you're hitting that back double bind, you pull it down first and squeeze real hard. Squeeze that shit hard at the bottom. Good.
The machine you used a lot?
I've never used this machine in my life, but I like it a lot. So what's good about this is the way the pad is, you can actually press yourself against it, which makes it so your form is perfect and you actually can't cheat. And you can drive your elbows back. This is more similar to a behind the neck pull down. but without having to pull around your head, which is rough on your shoulders. You can feel a lot deeper contraction doing this. It feels very, very good actually. So for these guys, you want to get as much of a deep contraction as possible so they're squeezing all those muscle fibers out. There you go. Keep those elbows down in front of you. Keep pulling through here.
So how many sets do you normally do on this?
We're going to do a total of 4 rotations through, so they should have 1 more, right? T-bar is a very common exercise that a lot of guys will use for mass. There's variations to the T-bar. We're going to do a variation in this particular workout. It's a lot harder to cheat when you have a pad on your chest like this. This one is extremely upright, which I like. A lot of T-bar rows will either be flat or they'll be more closer to 45. This is extremely upright. In fact, this is the most upright version of an actual T-bar row that I've seen. So because of that, it's actually going to be able to get a lot of posterior delt too, which is okay at this point. We want to try to bring out as much detail as we can. So you're going to get in here. Your feet actually go on this. All right. We're going to use this top attachment. It's more similar to like a barbell row or a T-bar row, but you're not going to be able to cheat. Okay. So we're going to start on here. First set. Go for about 10 to 12 reps. Concentrate and bring those elbows back as far as you can. Staying on the pad. You want to be yanking off the pad. Okay? From here, we're going to superset this with, this is a variation of this row. For this low row, you're going to put the seat very, very low. You're actually going to use an overhand grip all the way inside like this. And this is going to work in the middle back, basically right below your delt into the middle, more rhomboid area and lower trap area. This is a very good detail exercise. So you're actually going to lean forward into it a little bit. You're pulling your elbows back against your body. It's very awkward. This is not something that you want to use a lot of weight and yank on. You're not going to get the proper contraction. This is not necessarily the way you're supposed to use this machine, but you get a very, very unique contraction like this. Now the important part on this one is keeping your elbows in. Where your elbows are going to be up more here, you're going to be in a lot on this one. Good. Good. Is that the speed we're looking for on that? You can go a little faster. If when you go a little faster, this one, you want to be real controlled to get those big squeezes. This one's cool because you're going to feel this in a weird spot. You're going to feel it more through like here. The spot that you don't really feel.
Yeah, it's where I'm trying to fucking grow.
So you're going to hold it all the way inside. Over here. Like that. So you're going to have an overhand grip like that. All the way down towards the bottom. You're going to drag your elbows along your body. You're going to lean forward in it too, so you'll sit a little farther back on the seat, but lean forward. So you're really exaggerating the stretch at the front. You're going to drag your elbows back. You're going to feel it a lot through here. Tough area to hit. Good. 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 Drag those elbows against your body. There you go. Good. You want to really focus through here a lot. Good. Feel these? Good. It's a little bit awkward, but it's a really good exercise.
You're right, it hits like right here.
Yeah, it's lower and more into the middle more.
Like you look
So when you're this close to a show, you want to be moving at a good pace. I always train fast anyway. It's something I preach in all my workouts, but close to a show, number one, you're going to be burning more calories like that, which is what you want. You're really going to be focused quite a bit on burning calories the closer that you get. Now, when you're working at a fast pace like this, you're not going to be as strong. That's okay. You just want to keep stimulating the muscle as much as possible, get as much blood flow as possible into the muscle. And really, your body is so beat up at this point that to be in the gym for more than 40 minutes or so on a body part is overkill, and you're going to start putting cortisol out. When you're a couple weeks out from a show, you are certainly not building any muscle anymore. You're just preserving what you got and trying to sculpt it out as much as you can. So I want to make these guys keep moving at a good pace. We're not going to go deep, deep, deep with volume. We're going to just keep stimulating everything from every angle and then move on.
For how many reps, right?
Yeah. See, the freak is listening to Led Zeppelin right now. Not like this bullshit Travis Scott that the kids in the office listen to.
Hey.
All right, I'm sorry. Sorry. Who were we listening to yesterday?
Lil Pump.
Tucci? What was his name? Tashi? It's like a real bad sushi place. Come on. Keep going, slash of these. Good. Good. Keep going. Do 2 more. 1 more. Good job.
PJ showed you that different hand positioning on there. Do you feel a big difference?
Absolutely. I always am trying to hit my lower lats. That's like my weakness. But it's really hard to hit lower lat. You need your elbows in.
Yeah.
And this keeps with your arms twisted this way. When you pull it back, just the motion of the machine, it pulls your elbow straight back.
Exactly.
So it squeezes right your lower lat.
He's exactly right. Especially because this machine is set up to where you would do normally an underhand grip. That naturally that underhand grip wants you to those elbows to flare out more. So like, he's 100% right. And when you're close like that, really hitting like that inner tree right here, you know?
Is that the first time using that grip?
I've never done that before.
I've done that either.
I guess he knows what he's talking about.
He does indeed.
Yeah.
So I'm extremely excited about this. You don't see these 45-degree seated pulley rows ever. They have one at Montanari Brothers up in Connecticut. It's probably the only place that I've ever really seen it. It's a completely different angle than a regular seated pulley row. It's much harder. You're going to feel it, again, more through the inside of your back. Why I'm doing these grips is because we all have completely different shoulder insertions and body mechanics. This is going to give us the ability to pull exactly where we need to pull for our individual bodies to get as deep a contraction as possible. If we're just using that little handle, we're limited, okay? So now we can pull these apart and exaggerate the concentration. So your feet are going way high up on this thing. You're going up here like this, all right? You're actually going to let it pull you up a little bit, but you don't want to let it jerk you so that you're slamming the weight. It's going to be the purpose of it. Now this one, it is actually okay to use a little bit of body English with. You're going to pull it back, control it on the way up, and really, really exaggerate the squeeze on the bottom. These are the ones I want them to be a little aggressive with. We're going to use a little more weight on these and really, really pull hard. All right? So from here, we're going to stick to like a 10 to 12 rep range with these. All right? From here,
Never done these.
we're going to pop over and we're going to do another variation of a pull down. You're going to be all the way bent over 90 degrees on this. This is a safe way to do a dumbbell pullover. Dumbbell pullovers are very, very dangerous. Effective in many ways because of what they can do for the serratus. Very, very dangerous on the shoulder joints. Same motion, you're just facing down, obviously. You're pulling straight down, just like you're doing a pullover to your shins, and then letting it stretch back up, open everything back up, contract back down. This is a nice, slow, controlled movement. For here, we're gonna do this 15 reps. You want to make sure you're at 90 degrees. You do not come upright with this. So you're fighting gravity here in this fully extended spot. The insertion point is gonna be in its full stretch, so it's weak. It has to fire much harder. And look at this range of motion that I'm taking it through. Deep range of motion. Creating this big circle. This is nice and controlled. And then from here, I'm gonna be upright. An exaggerated close grip, so the range of motion again is as far as possible, underhand. And this is just to open everything back up, pulling down. Just opening everything back up, pulling down. Really, really firing the lats more in this. So we're hitting a row, a pullover move, and a pull down. So we're stimulating the back from all kinds of angles. This one, you're gonna go fully upright, and then contract back down. I like to do this really, really close grip, again, because you're just getting a farther range of motion. The closer your grip, the more you're going to be able to stimulate width through your back. A lot of people think, oh, wide back, wide grip pull downs. You're shortening your range of motion. You want as much, I just did something weird in my back right there. So I just took my breath away. God damn, don't get old. Do not get old. Seriously. I just popped like a rib, I think. God damn it. That hurt. Don't do what I just did, obviously. Don't get old. Don't do really, really light weights when you're explaining something and still find a way to get hurt doing it. That's a hydration thing. I've been eating Cinnaholics and not hydrating myself properly. That's the best tip I can give you in all this. If you're gonna be crushing Cinnaholics, make sure you're drinking water. So we're stimulating the back from every angle right now. We're gonna go hard here, super, super, super strict here, and this is all about that squeeze at the bottom. Good. So at the bottom, pop your chest real high, and yeah, just squeeze hard on this. There you go. There's all the veins coming out here. Good. 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 Really, really concentrate on that stretch. Come all the way down. Try to come with your arms as straight as possible. Lean down a little more. And just really, really concentrate through there. Oh, you're firing hard right there. That's good, actually. This is going to hit your serratus a lot, too. When you do those front lat spreads and those front double buys, this is going to open up a lot more. You also should be feeling it deep up into your insertions of your armpits in here, too. Good, and I know you're real stiff, but try to really open up through here. So you're doing a big circle. There you go. Squeeze here at the bottom. I'm gonna pull this out. There you go. You should also feel it when you're first engaging up in here a lot too. Come on. Come on. Good. There you go. You're strong. Come on. We got one more great combo that we're gonna do. Open it up. Good. Combination detail exercises that we're going to put together. So these are what you would call your classify as your finishers. So the first one we're going to do, I don't really even know what these are called. I always call them Cobras, because I like Cobras. And I feel like you're like flaring your back out like the hood of a snake. I don't really ever see anybody doing these. I'm sure I didn't make them up. What we're going to do is you're going to nail inside a crossover like this. You're going to arch your chest up real high. And you're going to contract your back muscles through your scapula directly back and squeeze and contract your back as hard as you can. Then you're not going to just let go with your arms. You're actually going to allow your scapula to open all the way back up again. And this is all about retracting your scapula. So it's like if I put a pencil in between your shoulder blades and said you got to squeeze it there for as long as you can, that's what you're doing. This is a really, really good detail exercise. You've got to be really, really lean to even be bothering with something like this to see it working. That doesn't mean you can't do it when you're not lean. This is the kind of thing that you're going to add at the end. Now, a little tip, when you're doing these, you contract hard. Right when you get to extension, you're going to come back down again, because when you're fully extension, your shoulders are actually going to take a lot of the workload, and the stress is going to come off your lats. So we're going to shoot for about 15 reps here, when our back is really, really burning. I'm going to come over here. You'll notice I made this wider than what they were using. Again, we're going to face out. You're going to pull. Dave is a lot stronger than I am. This is one you do not want to mess around with. This is all about form, being strict. You're going to mimic The motion of hitting a back double bicep. You're pulling back, you're basically gonna finish right at the back of your head, and when you get there, you're gonna squeeze as hard as you can, just like you're hitting the pose. Squeeze your arms, squeeze your back, then you're gonna allow it to come back up, bring it back down. The reason I like to face out is it's much easier to pull your elbows back behind your head when you do this. Now, you're not gonna be pulling all the way down to the base of your neck. When you're externally rotating your shoulders like that, a lot of bad things can happen. So we're just mimicking that motion. You're gonna be doing this on stage. You better master this motion and contracting all these muscles.
I was like, wait, you didn't tell me?
Double back as far as you can. Fall through your shoulder blades and pinch here. There you go. Just imagine like when you're doing a back up by, you pull down real far first, and then you open it all back up. Right when you're about to be open, you pull it back down again. Squeeze. Fan it back out. And then fan it back out. And then squeeze. Put it all through your shoulder blades, all through your scapula. Let them open and retract. Retract back. Good. So all through here, your arms are just hooks. Guys, you don't want to be yanking with your arms. Your arms are just there to hold on to the weight. It's all about contracting your scapula back. See the scapula release, it opens, and then he's going to retract it all back. Everything's going to bunch up through here. Just pull down to the back of your head and squeeze hard like you're doing a back double bi. Just squeeze everything. Squeeze your arms, squeeze your delts, squeeze your back, squeeze your traps. These exercises pair well together. Good. Get it through here too. Yep, good. See his delts are firing out now. You're gonna be hitting these on stage. You might as well master contracting all these muscles. Very good. This is weird because this exercise actually starts burning more when you stop. As soon as you let go and pull your arms down, you feel the blood start rushing out.
He's right.
You gotta really exaggerate the range of motion. Keep pulling back, there you go. You're gonna release all this, open, 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 and then squeeze back through here. Squeeze, 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 there you go. Open it up. Let it even pull in front of you a little bit. And now pull the elbows back, back, back. Good. Open it all the way back up. Very good. I'm going after this. Cryotherapy. Maybe I have him do that freaking infrared wand on my back. On that rib that just popped out.
Actually, I thought you were going to say original pancake house because it's in the
There is one in here.
Take one more step forward. Drop your right shoulder and raise your left a little. There you go.
Is this your first time doing this exercise?
Yep.
Is it hard to concentrate and squeeze and you feel it?
It's definitely something to go light on. Just focus on what you're trying to
Accomplish.
actually contract when you squeeze. 'Cause it's really easy to like squeeze your rear delts on this.
You gotta try to hit your front lat spread more like you're hitting your back lat spread. Your front lat spread, you're not opening your lats all the way, and the right side is jammed up. You can see it in the front. You're opening it, it's not a question of muscle because you're opening it in your back lat spread. So when you do your front lat spread, maybe hit it like you're hitting your back. Just keep your feet together, obviously. Come forward with it, more and then stand up. So act like you're hitting your back lat spread. You have no problem opening it all the way there. So now you're open all the way. There you go. That's from the back. I already like the tone with it. Way better. We weren't open. That one side we weren't against the spot. Really? Yeah, we're all jammed up. That's why I walked back there, because you can see in the back. We had one side that was coming out. Keep practicing it like that. Can't get his shirt off. So big he can't even get his shirt off. I feel like we should edit that. Controls are annihilating.
No, we gotta leave that in there.
Stand forward a little more. Let's see your back lat spread. Keep opening. Lean forward a little more. There you go. Better. So the last exercise we're gonna have him do is basically a hammer strength deadlift. The reason I'm having him do this, you can do it in the Smith machine too. There's actually a number of things you can do. You can do a rack pull. I'm not really one that thinks that you should be doing deadlifts off the floor when you're this close to a show. Also, we're focusing on his back and especially his lower back right now with this exercise. His whole entire back is fatigued. So his lower back's gonna fire even with a very light weight. We're just gonna focus on controlled motion, and when he's coming up, actually squeezing his back really hard. This is not something that you need to go heavy with at this point. You built all your strength doing normal deadlifts and rack pulls all through your off season. So now, when he's coming up, he's pulling through. So when you're getting to the top, you're gonna pull through, lift that chest real high, contract everything through your back, and then you're gonna control it back down. And this is gonna be rhythmic, okay? Good, just like this. Pulling through, stimulating the lower back. You don't want to bend your knees too much, because again, we don't want to be getting too much hip and hamstring and even quad drive from the floor. We're focusing all on his lower back at this point. So the last thing he's going to do today, just to finish it off. So another thing is you see his traps are firing from here all the way down. The trap is a very, very big muscle. It starts all the way up here in your head and inserts all the way down your middle back. So people ask me all the time, what's the best exercise for traps? Like, should I do barbell shrugs? Should I do dumbbell shrugs? Deadlifts are by far the best exercise for your traps. You're taking them through such a far range of motion and you're stimulating all of it. One thing I think is really fun is, it's like I've been training for 25 years. Yeah, 25 years. So I've pretty much done it all. But what I like to do is when I can go to a gym that has machines that I don't get to use, sometimes I'll just go and I'll just mess around with all the machines. It's just you're stimulating muscle there, that it's a different angle that you're not used to. And you'd be surprised when you mess around with some of these machines, you know, you get real sore because this is just not stuff that you're used to doing. These two machines are both great, and we didn't even mess around with these. And this one, you can hold it inside, you can hold it out here, like this. Contraction's much different. You can hold it in here, like this. You feel it different in every one. It's really cool. All right, guys. So that was Project Freak number whatever at this point. You've seen a lot of back stuff, but you've seen some completely different back stuff. You saw stuff with Freak with Hakeem and Eric Ramirez. You've seen him do what I have him doing specifically. Now today you saw him doing some actual touch-up, refining, definition work, and I'm sure he'll be sore because this is different than what he's been doing. You also saw Billy, who is one of my wholesalers. He's a very, very hard worker. Started in the call center, was a standout in the call center, so he moved into wholesale. Busts his ass every day. He's dieted as hard as anyone can diet. I've been watching him suffer for weeks, so to try to train on your own at this point is very, very hard. He would have did it because he's a workhorse, but I bet he had a better workout today with their people around him, motivating him. Also, when there's a camera on you, there's something that goes on in your brain that's like, I better not fuck up for the camera, excuse my language. And because of that, I think that he maximized everything he could have got out of his back today. When he gets on stage, he will be even leaner than he is today. He'll be full because he's flat right now from starving himself. And everything should pop out more. So all this work that he did to get up to this place will be displayed next weekend. And by the time this video comes out, the show won't happen yet. We'll be like 2 days before the show. I'm going to be there at the Florida Grand Prix. All these guys are going to be there. So come say hi to Blackstone Labs. I think the Freak's going to be there. Tristan James is going to be there for all my gay followers out there. A couple of girls. Got that beard, that sexy beard. So come down, support the guys. We've got a bunch of guys competing. This was just one of them here today. We've got Corey, we've got Alex Kaplan, we've got Vlad, we've got Jared, and of course Tristan, as I just said. So I don't think we have no girls competing in this one, right?
You know any?
No, I don't know.
No, I don't think we have any women doing the show. Nika will be at the show for all the Nika fans. I'm gonna try to get my mom to come. Coach K will be there. She's probably training a bunch of people, I assume. So come down, hang out, support the team. I'm very proud of these guys. They're working very hard. And that was Project Freak. Peace out.